Welcome to the Broken Pencil Booking Company Pro Wrestling Podcast and radio show infused with hip hop. I am Wood.
Made daily with organic, farm to table, localized, neuralized, sterilized, Scotch guarded for 2020 repellent, available online, shipped via Amazon, not available on Sundays, but now available on thebeastradio.com. Broken Pencil Logic. You stay classy, internet. I'm Suave Burgundy.
If I told you I was marked safe, this time it would be a lie.
Damn. That's how you want to start the show?
They got me, dog. They got me.
Got an icebox where my heart used to be. Got an icebox where my heart used to be.
You ho.
Jeez, bruh.
They got me, bro. I'm over here with all the 19s.
Don't tase me, bro.
Man, the beautiful thing about doing this the way that we've been doing it and doing it the level we've been doing it for as long as we've been doing it is the fact that the casino stays open, sir.
Yeah, this is true. So, yeah, like we could end up in storm shelters, but as long as we got a strong internet connection, you finna get this work.
And I feel far better than I sound. Please believe. Today is Thursday, February the 10th. Yeah, my lord.
Yeah, my lord.
I said, yeah, my lord.
Yeah, my lord.
20 and 22.
Hey, man.
And later on in the show, we have a special guest from DFW Pro Wrestling fame and soon to be national and international wrestling fame. And also a musician as well. Primetime Dontae Smiley will be joining us.
Can you dig it?
Tony Snow's not too far behind, I'm sure.
because you cannot ban the snowman.
You cannot ban the snowman. Also,
I haven't found a good enough reason yet.
Before we get completely open,
pause.
DFW Hip Hop has lost another one this week. Rest in peace to Beat Nerd Hub, who passed away tragically earlier this week. Good people. Only thing I can tell you is take care of yourselves, take care of each other, and please take advantage of your medical resources. This is not a jab or anything at anybody, but we're losing too many people for too many of the similar reasons. And the only way we can stop this is by getting ahead of it. So this episode is dedicated to memory and the beats of Beat Nerd Hub of DFW hip hop fame. That man's got a catalog, man. He's got over 60 tracks with Kinfolk Jack alone. Like, man, he out here.
Mm-hmm. We outside, buddy.
We outside. Yo, okay, so all the particulars out the way. I've shot my slugs. I've said my shout outs.
Hit them with the hashtags and the social things, just, you know, because
just because
it's the right thing to do.
Broken Pencil Logic. You can't write this. Fuck life, shawty. I took it back. We can take that.
Yeah. See, now I can see. I did that for a reason. I wanted to make sure all your mental faculties were still in.
No, they're not. With the shit. Fuck the casual fan. And shouts out to Mr. High School Holla, Ron Murray, because
price just went up. Price just went up. Price just went up.
On your bitch
way
ass.
Up. Yesterday's price is not today's price, and I'm certain it will not be tomorrow's price
at all. If you don't believe me, ask your gas tank. Partner.
Yeah.
What has been happening this week?
Every fucking everything and nothing. Like
that is the correct answer, sir.
Like dead ass. The week was dry as fuck. I mean, everybody been on their best behavior.
The most exciting thing we had to look forward to was something that I downplayed for a week, and that was the alleged opening of the Forbidden Door in AEW once again.
So what we really need to do is we need to get Kanos on this show to get a working book definition of what the Forbidden Door means. Because I was under the impression that the Forbidden Door means one promotion swapping talent with another promotion. So if somebody from Impact showed up on WWE TV, a la the Royal Rumble, that's walking through the forbidden door.
That's walking through the forbidden door.
Gallows and Anderson coming from Impact over to AEW, walking through the forbidden door.
With Don Callis, definitely walking through the forbidden door.
You feel me? Whenever Okada decides to come from New Japan and end up in AEW,
walking through
the forbidden door.
Rocky Romero. He is the forbidden door.
I got these bars where I have like Porsche Panamera and Panoramic right behind each other, and you fuck around.
That's a Rick Ross
Panoramic.
That's some Rick Ross sober shit. That's what that is.
Take it easy. Take it easy. What we're not gonna do is that.
My bad.
Take it easy.
Relax, son.
Yeah, relax. RELAX in my Aaron Rodgers voice. Aaron. But yeah, like, that's what I thought Forbidden Door meant. But apparently, Forbidden Door means if you used to work there and you pull up over here, that's Forbidden Door. Like, nah, I think that's just,
that's open cap is what that is.
That's new employment.
Bag security.
That's Baggington Securitas.
It's the firm thereof. I mean, you can't tell me where I can go when I'm able to go. And speaking of the Forbidden Door, shouts out to Keith Lee and Mia Yim on their nuptials this past weekend.
Congratulations.
And I'm pissed at Shelton Benjamin for not having that steel chair in tow.
Man, look, Shelton put his work in on social media. He tried his best. He tried to pull off a prank, tried to stop the wedding, air quotes, and he was unsuccessful. Let that man live the gimmick all the way to the altar,
to the grave. He's taking that shit home with him.
Now, see, like if you would integrate that on WWE TV, that's funny. That's like tongue in cheek.
They would never with talent that just got released. They would never.
No, I'm saying before you even released her.
Oh man.
Do you know how much TV I could have gotten out of you admitting that Mia Yim and Keith Lee are together and that Shelton has a vendetta? Has like a bullshit vendetta with Mia Yim just because they hate each other.
Remember when?
Air quotes.
Remember when Shelton first came back? He was signed, then had a shoulder injury that delayed his return for a year. And when he came back, he didn't say shit on the mic until he ended up on Raw with the Hurt Business. He was like, anytime you interviewed him, he just looked at you, pointing at the mic, almost like he was about to say "damn," and didn't say anything, and just walked off.
He was like an on-air in-ring coach.
And you could have done the same thing with that Mia Yim Yangle.
I want them.
Is this the tongue twister episode? Is this what the fuck this is?
Apparently so. We need to check in. We need to check in with Chicago, see if the Speed Nine Monsters are calling.
Shouts out to the legendary Traxter.
You see what I'm saying? Shout out to Buck and all the members of Psychodrama. But
when the motherfucker got to go and pick up the pump.
I am more than compelled and honored to expel.
Don't do it. Don't do it.
Shell for fuckers who wanted violence. Yeah.
Okay, let me.
And look, don't let me start remembering the verse from the remix with Cameron. You have somersaulted and dived in the coffin of shit. Like
throwback.
How does that? If a mad scientist could rap, that is what Buck from Psychodrama sounds like.
That was Chicago in the 90s, no doubt. That's what that was.
Oh my god! Now you're gonna go make me listen to
Wild Like the Hunnits.
It turns.
We gonna have to. You know what? Before we bring Dontae on, we gonna have to close out with some psychodrama, just so people can understand what we're talking about, because there's a whole generation of cats that was introduced to the greatness that is psychodrama.
The circle that turns around upon itself.
Boy, don't. That's a whew. That's a whole different back. Where we back on Keith Lee and Mia Yim.
It's a whole lot of
Benjamin.
smoke.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is, what they could have done is like it could have been playful banter. where Mia Yim and Shelton kind of go back and forth, you know, whether they scorn or playing pranks or whatever, until that one time Shelton goes too far. And the one time Shelton goes too far, that's when Keith Lee decides to get involved. He can play the background for all the practical jokes while they're going on and it's all good natured, but the time he goes too far, that's when Keith Lee gets involved. And then you have Shelton Benjamin teaching class with Keith Lee. All I'm saying is, for a nominal fee.
Oh no.
Soon to be a phenomenal fee.
My hands in the air, waving side to side.
I will take some of this broken pencil knowledge,
pass it off the plate,
slice it off, and put it on your plate.
Put that change in there, make them bills fold, making sure they crinkle.
We appreciate the money that jingles, but we'd rather have the money that folds.
All that.
All that. Shout out to Lisa McDowell.
Man, oh boy. All right.
Hey, since we talking about rap money and getting to it and people doing cool shit and we rather have the money that folds, shout out to Snoop Dogg.
Oh boy.
Snoop Dogg done bought Death Row Records.
Say it again. Say it again.
Snoop Dogg. Well, actually, I think we can call him Snoop Doggy Dogg again because he owns that too. Done bought Death Row Records. So now we can officially say Death Row is the label that pays me.
He probably bought Death Row as a flex just for that one line. Because he ain't got to worry about saying Aftermath. He ain't got to worry about saying Doggy Style. None of that. He can actually say Death Row and mean it now.
2013. So, okay, he has bought Death Row about a year and some or a little less than a year year away from the 30-year anniversary of Doggy Style.
And he's been rocking a Doggy Style jacket for the last year nonstop.
So I would believe that this sale and pending acquisition has been going on for a little bit longer than we're willing to guess at.
I mean, it really means nothing to anyone.
When you're doing Raising Cane partnerships and you got the Doggy Style jacket on, like, you know some shit.
Like, everything he's done, whether it be WWE, AEW, Triller, Raising Cane's, everything that he's done, he's worn that jacket over the last year.
Martha Stewart probably has one of those jackets.
She probably has the jacket that he's been wearing. Let's keep it a buck.
She got one signed in a glass case. Then she got one she wears on the weekends to run errands.
And then the one that he leaves over there when they go smoke. Don't act like they ain't outside. Don't do that.
Of course they are. Of course they are. So it's really a smoking jacket. That's what I was like.
I see what you did there.
Can you dig it?
Well done, sir. Well done.
Thank you very much. I'll be here all week.
So the Forbidden Door opens, quote unquote, and
yeah, but we need Kanos to define this.
Of the two, one of them is potentially an actual Forbidden Door participant, and that would be Switchblade Jay White.
Now that's Forbidden Door.
Switchblade Jay White showed up to crack the skull of one Trent Beretta up against the side of a semi-trailer.
Man, he sold the shit out of that too.
Let me tell you something, man. Trent Beretta is doing more selling of a neck after a serious neck injury and surgery than anyone I've seen this side of old Randy Savage or old Ricky Steamboat.
Famo, you doing too much. That's what I'm trying to tell you. I don't give a damn who's paying what. It's only so much I'm gonna let you do with my neck if I've had neck surgery. Speaking as someone who's been there before.
I'm about to say, you have the stack of dimes. Arn Anderson has a stack of dimes. You ever seen him play games with his neck?
See that part?
Yeah.
I wouldn't give a damn if I had brontosaurus bones in this motherfucker. If I done hurt the bitch, you not finna throw me into the side of a tractor trailer.
The neck is damaged goods. Go shatter the ankle. Then I'll believe you.
Bobby Heenan spent his whole life post Ultimate Warrior telling motherfuckers to stay away from my neck. And the one time they got him to break character on television is because somebody was playing around next to his neck. Rest in peace, Brian Pillman.
Man.
Don't be playing around my injured areas, bitch. I'm strapped now.
He dropped the whole F-bomb live on TNT. And then
You feel me?
And then nobody say nothing about it.
Bobby Heenan been part of the wrestling business, 40 years when that happened? He ain't never done nothing like that before. He ain't laughed on camera.
Broadcast journalist, a pioneer for the pay-per-view era. The consummate heel. Like, he could crack jokes and make others laugh and him not laugh himself.
Him and Gorilla Monsoon having like 3-hour freestyle sessions on pay-per-view broadcast, and he ain't never slipped up.
Gorilla have.
That's a professional. That's a professional.
Man. And you
matter of fact, hey, you know what? I should call Gorilla Monsoon and Bobby Heenan Gorilla Glue, because they stick together like a motherfucker.
Hey, are you on supplies right now? Because you are in your own bag.
I mean, I am a supply, but no, I'm not on them now.
Okay, got you. Right on. Now
I'm a walking supply.
Before we get into the rest of the AEW Dynamite, because there was MJF was worth talking about for sure. WWE Monday Night Raw was absolutely nothing to talk about, not even anything to write home to. So much so that they switched networks for the week. Why? Because of the Winter Olympics that are happening over in communist China.
Is it just me, or does Raw seem more at home on Sci-Fi?
During
the Alexa Bliss segment, I was like, this is perfect for Sci-Fi.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And it harkens back to the SmackDown era on Sci-Fi. SmackDown seems more at home now on Raw, on Fox, because of Pat McAfee, if nobody else. But Raw definitely feels at home on Sci-Fi. That said, Raw suffered the worst ratings they've had in over a decade, according to Nielsen, this week.
Wait, so we've dipped down again?
Yes.
We were already in worst ratings in the history of the show territory. Now we've gone further into descent.
We're worst ratings in over a decade.
So how far down the toilet do we have to go before somebody admits that, okay, this ain't working?
I want to know.
Like, I know there's going down with the ship, and I guess there was a low point where they decided that Heyman wasn't going to run Raw anymore. In this incarnation of whoever's head of creative or whoever's in charge of Monday Night Raw next to Vince McMahon, at what point does USA have to step in and say, fuck this, we pulling the plug on what y'all doing?
I mean, eventually they're going to have to make a decision, because that $1 billion bag across multiple networks, it doesn't look like you're getting a hell of a return on the investment, especially when the company drew the most money in company's history over the last year with all these releases. Was it like $1.18 billion that the company grossed?
I don't have it right in front of me, but I know that stock dividend ought to be kicking in pretty soon.
Get your bag up, because they bamboozled a bunch of talent.
I'm finna. For those of you who are in the stock trading, or you just trying to figure it out or whatever, and you happen to be a wrestling fan, now would be the time to kind of load up on some of that stock if you can get your hands on it, because when this sells, oh yeah,
$1.02 billion was what the company reported in annual revenue in 2021.
Budget cuts.
1.02 billion dollars. That's $1 billion 20 million.
A billy.
$1 billion $20 million.
Did you put your pinky up when you said that, right up to the corner of your mouth?
I got my hands on the keyboard and I have both my pinkies up. That should tell you something. Shouts out Booker T. King Booker.
You feel me?
On your funky ass. On your funky ass.
It's tough. It's rough on rats and tough on cats right now, as far as this whole WWE thing. Like, it used to be everybody was getting rich at the same time. Now nobody's getting rich except WWE. And at some point, these television networks have to have like a come to Jesus meeting or come to Jesus moment. Even though with these super poor ratings and like the lowest in company history, it's still earning money. for USA. It's not what it was. You're probably never going to get back to 98. But damn, bruh.
So right now, WWE stock price is at $54.97 American.
Get as many as you can. Buy every time you think about buying a pair of Jordans, just buy the equating amount of WWE stock.
And that's as of the time of us recording this, not as of the time of you listening to this. I want you to be very clear on that because we're not stock experts. I'm giving you live, real-time analysis.
See, that's it. We're not brokers or any of the things of that sort, so don't hold us. I'm just trying to help you.
Yeah, help you help yourself. Now,
trying to help you not be a loser all your life.
52-week high, $70.72. 52-week low, $45.87. So you're closer to the low than you are the high. Buy low, sell high. Is that how it goes?
Last time I checked. And that's not just stocks, that's everything.
Everything. Oh, and also show at brokenpencilbc.com, brokenpencilbc@gmail.com. That's at brokenpencilbc on all social media platforms. At brokenpencilbc on what? Everything. Now, back on task. To combat this, AEW has this whole Forbidden Door campaign for the whole week. And everybody who didn't watch Raw, I guarantee you watched AEW just to find out what was happening.
Deadass. Stressing the point of Forbidden Door. Now, you could have just said a free agent signing. That'd have been cool. That'd have been enough. But it was like Forbidden Door. And Kanos put out a tweet saying that the free agent signing and the Forbidden Door member were the same person.
Which we know for a fact cannot be true unless we get an actual working definition from Kanos. And that works out to his advantage. Why? Because, like I told you, we had Jay White, and in the ensuing segment, we had Isaiah Cassidy versus a mystery opponent. Mystery opponent was Limitless Keith Lee, coming out to that name, Limitless Keith Lee.
No Limit Records, baby.
For the 9-9. No, that's Cash Money. Wait a minute. Whoa.
And the 2000.
We'll take that too. That's Cash Money. Where dreams come true.
Well, then there's that.
Speaking of this is also the week of yesterday. Big Show's
the wellness.
No. The Big Show's 50th birthday.
Hey,
happy birthday to Paul White.
Yeah.
No BS, Paul White.
50 of them. Him and Mark Henry finna be out doing a fool. You hear me?
They probably doing a fool right now in a subcompact car.
Look, that's for TV. Ain't no way in hell they riding like that.
Yeah, on purpose.
Yeah, no. At no way in hell. If I'm working the counter at the car rental place and Mark Henry and Paul White walk in and Mark Henry asks me for a Camaro, I'm gonna look at him like, I've been on the clock too long for you to be fucking playing with me. I'm gonna pull it. You want the Suburban or you want the Armada? I'm gonna go ahead and pull it around for you.
Man, give me that Suburban because that Armada ain't got no back room space. You know what I'm talking about? Anyway.
You feel me? Like the leg room. Yeah. And why I did that is the Suburban is a more comfortable ride. The Armada's better gas mileage.
The Endo's got me perving. Let's go hop in my Suburban. You know what I'm saying? Shout out A-Ball.
You can turn up the Snoop Dogg as loud as you want to. Because Death Row is the label that pays, man.
Or those who used to it lose women. The player like me used to it. Space Age. Pimping. just gems being dropped on your forehead. All right, so
I'm having a good time.
We kick off AEW Dynamite with Wardlow coming out with cutouts from the and they're life-size cutouts from the post-match from MJF defeating CM Punk last week in Chicago. And Sean Spears comes out and hands Justin Roberts a diatribe to read to the audience. And the
script.
It is a script that is the damnedest intro for anyone that anyone's ever done. And for someone like Justin Roberts, who's been known as the Dapper Yapper, legendary in multiple organizations, including WWE, to be handed a script to have to read this intro for MJF makes MJF the biggest asshole heel currently in professional wrestling and quite possibly in the history of the business.
All right, so let's go ahead and settle this. Because I know what you were doing. So there's been a lot of back and forth, and I don't know how we got to this point specifically, but there's this internet tug of war going on about MJF and The Miz. And most of it comes from when CM Punk cut his promo and mentioned and name dropped The Miz, and the world turned on its ear for a second. And since then, there's been this running comparison between MJF and The Miz. Now, we all know Miz is a first ballot Hall of Famer, should be.
No question.
Yeah, no question. He's probably the most
durable.
He's probably the most durable superstar of the modern era.
Would you say available and reliable? The two best abilities?
What is the best ability?
Availability.
What is the second best ability?
Reliability. And
there you have it. So he's durable, he's reliable, he's entertaining when he has the right material to work with.
Think about it. He's been wrestling now for almost 20 years, right?
Right.
He had his first catastrophic career-threatening injury last year. It was out for roughly 8 months.
Because they surrounded the ring with zombies. It was a fucking zombie.
Something that was preventable.
Zombies ate his ACL.
Literally.
That's exactly what happened.
That's what happened.
Shit you mean, bro? I'm trying to help you.
Anyway, continue.
But the whole thing is like, okay, how old is MJF right now?
25, bro.
Okay. What was Miz doing at 25? Because I want to make this a fair comparison. Because you're comparing today Miz with today MJF. Which, keep it in the buck, I believe he won his first championship in 2007. Because Miz is 40, right? Look it up and make certain. Like I need to verify all this. I don't know Miz's age. I know he's from Ohio. I know he's a Browns fan. That's about it.
Okay, so
I don't know any more than the reality show.
He's 41. So 15 years ago puts him at 26 years of age. 15 years ago puts him at 2007. In 2007, let's see here.
I think we still might be Miz and
he was Miz and Morrison were tag team champions, so he had a belt.
Okay, so Miz, it'd be fair to say at 25, if you compare the two at 25, MJF is more advanced. Yes or no?
Yes.
I didn't say more accomplished.
No, definitely more advanced.
Yeah, just more advanced at the act of being a heel.
Now, also keep this in mind too. MJF has been wrestling at this point for, I believe, 6 years.
Okay, so how long in 2007? How long had Miz been wrestling?
Let's find out.
He's on Tough Enough, which dates back a couple more years.
Whoa. 2006.
Okay, so he's in year 2 versus year 6.
He's fresh out of year 1 carrying a title.
Cool. Okay, so we can split the difference and say this is year 2 of MJF on national television.
Okay, I'm with you on that.
So I feel like the upside on the 25-year-old we watch now is more than the 42-year-old we're watching on TV now.
And he's got his trainers too, man. I knew one of them. I didn't realize it was 2 of them.
Miz going into the Hall of Fame. Miz is undervalued. Miz is underrated, underutilized in my opinion. It's just, the ceiling seems higher for MJF. Why? Because MJF gets it. And he gets it early. 2007 Miz is a far cry from talking smack with Daniel Bryan and Intercontinental Championship run, in 2017.
I'll do you one better. 2007 Miz is closer to the real world than 2022 MJF is to Combat Zone, which is where he started wrestling.
You see what I'm saying? Let
that sit for a second. And people don't realize that he was also in a MLW when AEW first kicked off, so he was pulling double duty.
Which is why I put that caveat about national television. I'm just saying, y'all gotta relax. It's cool to compare, but I look, if MJF is pulling this type of stuff off now, in year 6 of being a wrestler, year 2 on national television, put 20 years on this. And I'm under the impression that all 20 may not be in the same place. Put 20 years on this.
I'm almost willing to bet that MJF is willing to take a bet to go to Stanford just to see if they fuck it up.
He'll go for the.
He'd be a fool not to, because the bag would be ridiculous.
Right,
but the homecoming, boy.
Because we did talk about this. The contracts in Stanford are about to change. You're not going to get royalties on T-shirts and other merchandise and shit like that. They just cutting you a check.
First of all, what merchandise does MJF have?
I'm just saying for Stanford, he might sell a T-shirt. Everybody has a T-shirt. You get one. It's part of the contract.
Right. But as of right now, what does he have?
He got shirts.
According to Sean Spears, he has that shirt that I'm better than the best in the world.
He had like one or two shirts, before that. They weren't all that great that I remember, but he's had merchandise.
But he's coming from the Chris Jericho school of heels, where heels don't have merch. That's what I'm saying. That his biggest piece of merchandise is a Burberry scarf.
Chris Jericho is a horrible reference for anything about trademarks and merchandise and any of that shit. Because this man is out here trademarking every possible phrase he can, trying to hit one last lick. What we going to change his name to is the One Last Lick Jericho.
What you don't realize is when you doing stuff like that, you taking all that last lick away from you. People tap dance away from that on purpose.
It's time to go back to full heel, because at this point he tried to trademark GFY, which people know what that stands for. Then John Moxley said it on TV, and it kind of died. It died a slow death. Now he's trademarked the influencer. So if you watch AEW, you heard him kind of drop that in there to start getting that. That's his next incarnation, is the influencer. So he's probably good. If the Inner Circle finally fucking breaks up and he moves on, he may try to start another incarnation with younger dudes and basically say he's the influencer because I build stars. That ain't really how that went. But
he's bringing all the cap in what's seeming to be one of his last years as a professional wrestler.
So he's not the guy to be necessarily bringing up for that. But he does know how to turn over $1. But the new contracts in Stanford, or what MJF would probably end up signing if he ever does make the jump, they're more like professional sports contracts. You're getting a set amount of money for a set amount of time. Now, are they doing away with the downside guarantee?
We don't know. All that seems to be like a salary. You know what I'm saying? Like everything that we've read,
that's what they're going more towards, a salary.
Yeah. But I don't think there's going to be a downside guarantee. It's like what you sign for is what you're going to get divided by 12 or 24 or 52, depending on how they want to break it out.
So you'll never get what you're worth. You get what you negotiate. So you're going to be in a situation where you're going to have talent that start to say, I've outperformed the terms of this contract, or I am earning more for the company than I am personally earning for myself. At some point, sooner than later, like in professional sports, you're going to start to see holdouts. And at some point, when a talent / athlete / performer decides they're going to hold out, before too long, either Stanford has to void the contract, or the said talent has to honor the contract, or it has to go to arbitration.
So earlier this week, Antonio Brown signed to Kanye West's Donda Sports Agency as its president.
Did we learn nothing from Master P?
Did we learn anything from Hove?
Hove did I
exactly. And here. Talk to him, Trips.
Here's the thing.
Yeah, Hove has done decent with his, with his sports situation. I
first of all, I don't know if you want to be. I'm asking the question simply because this is in play now, not because I think that these are the go-tos for doing this, but because it's a newfound entity that's coming out and it already has brand recognition and name association with it. What are the odds of newly signed talent to one of these contracts you're talking about having an agent or representation attached to it?
I think that should be the new move going forward. I know some people that, because it's not really new. Like Hogan's had an agent, Goldberg's had an agent. Like most people have those agents that do the negotiating. Most people. Not every wrestler is just walking into the office blind and just taking the first offer.
Like shaking a hand, sitting down, looking at a contract and grabbing a pen and then either signing it or tearing it up. Like that's not happening.
Now maybe if you just eating a raw can of tuna and getting through the week with a bag of potatoes, like sure, yeah, you might fuck around and say, you know what, I don't care what you offer me, I am sick of eating cold tuna.
Man.
Now, yeah, and that's how it happens with record deals. Y'all eating ramen noodles. And it's like, well, shit, we either finna sign this deal or we getting put out. Or I'm going back to the block, and the block already hot because I got ops. See how that shit work? But it would not be a foolish maneuver to procure some representation in the form of an agent and an entertainment lawyer. And I would assume some of your top tier stars, when it comes time to renegotiate under the new regime, might start doing that. And the first person I'm thinking of is Roman Reigns. It all goes back to that Fabergé egg conversation. Up $100 million, almost as much as my next contract.
we gonna see how real that is. That's gonna be some shit.
Nah, real shit. You don't think Roman can command $100 million for 5 years?
You may not agree with this, but there's only two people right now that can command that kind of contract. One of them last name is Noie.
Okay.
The other one's last name is Orton.
I don't know how the fuck you keep putting Orton in this situation.
Because you have to keep it in mind.
How?
He's available, reliable, and reliable just happened within the last few years. But he's been there nonstop since 2002. He is literally the Undertaker now.
I guess if I look at him like you would look at Tom Brady, because Tom Brady, he has the accomplishments to reset the market. So okay,
yeah.
Cool. I still don't really hold. I like Randy Orton. We have gotten past the point where that I don't like Randy.
Yeah, I'm not even like this. I swear, this is not cap. This is not anything having to do with favoritism. I'm looking at the raw body of work that is his WWE career, the only career that he has. And if Roman Reigns can command that based on what he's been doing, so can someone who's been there for 20 years and held 14 titles. 14 singles championships, that is.
But as we know about pro sports and salary caps and like resetting the market from your position, you don't get paid for what you've done. You get paid for the
what
ceiling
have you done for me?
have.
Yeah, what have you done for me lately, and what can you do next?
Yeah, you get that second contract based on the potential of what you can do for me. Dakota Prescott did not get his deal.
Oh my God. That's the one.
Fuck it. I'll leave Dak out. Patrick Mahomes did not get his deal based on what he did in the first 2 seasons, even though he did the damn near impossible. They gave him that money because of how old he was and how many foreseeable years he has left. What you can bring to me.
There's also collective bargaining that dictates that too, but that's another conversation. But continue.
Which I'm saying, I think we might be moving towards that. Like,
okay.
Andrew Yang is the inevitable. Fuck what you going through. Andrew Yang will have his say before somebody goes in the ground.
Unions, collective bargaining, all the things that people have been scared to talk about are going to be a commonplace in the next 5 to 10 years, and also medical benefits.
All of the above,
because all of these people that I guarantee you, anyone not signed to WWE directly or through a Legends deal, they're probably talking about medical benefits, especially right now. Because like Tanahashi took a 25% pay cut, and he's considered the ace of New Japan Pro Wrestling. And luckily for him, it's a 25% pay cut in an environment where he's not going to be working nearly as much as he has in the past. In fact, I'd say this year, last year, and 2020 are probably going to be the years that he worked the least in his wrestling career.
So in his situation, it might be okay. I'm taking a 25% pay cut to sit on my ass.
And I'm guaranteeing you health when it's time to get back to work.
Ding, ding. Meanwhile, in America, shit ain't quite going like that.
Have we met? I'm Wood. Wood ain't good right now.
Meanwhile, at the Legion of Doom, so money just finna get different. I'm not so certain that in Stanford's quest for more money, because Canada wants more money, I am not totally certain that they have properly vetted what the future could look like if 1 or 2 people get smart. Because all it takes is one. It takes one guy to get it on their mind, and shit gets very different.
Sidebar: Randy Orton and Roman Reigns have an age difference of 5 years, in case you didn't know that.
Be that as it may.
No, I'm just saying that's a lot closer than what I anticipated it being.
No, I get you. And then, but what did I say? Was it last episode or the one before last? When you're on TV, you age in dog years.
Oh, do you ever?
Randy's like 67 right now.
Oof.
In TV years, Randy's like 67.
Yeah, you're right.
Still in phenomenal condition. Still probably the best in-ring performer on the roster. Most believable. He's the prototypical WWE superstar. Even still, like, I'm sure because of everything you said, he could get $100 million. I just don't know, once you give him the $100 million, how are you going to get it back? Because I know how you get it back with Mr. Anoa'i. Have you recognized your tribal chief today?
I was just going to tell you that not only have I, but you just have as well.
I do what I can to give back to my community. I'm just trying to be an asset and not an ass.
There's that. Much appreciated.
But I know how you get that $100 million back with Roman. I don't necessarily. You can get it back with Randy. It might take you a little long. It might take you the whole 5 years to get it back. Only because what is left for you to do with him? Like, he's done everything. He's been heel. He's been face.
You're getting more comedy gold out of him on house shows than you are on TV.
You feel me? Like him doing this comedy thing with RK Bro, it fills up some TV segments. It's cool. I don't have no problems with it. Hearing him talk about ounces and pounds and grams and calibrating scales, like that's hilarious to me.
And baking.
Yes, and baking. Like that's hilarious to me. But again, you giving $100 million to the guy doing that?
When it's exactly when that's the main reason why he wouldn't be worth $100 million to begin with. The irony.
You feel me?
So anyway,
yeah, all of that.
Yeah, back onto AEW though. What else do we have? So we had Keith Lee sacrifice Isaiah Cassidy.
Black History Month crime. You know what? We should have known who the Forbidden Door air quotes entrant was gonna be because of the time of year. All I'm saying, like we're better than where we were. We're not dragging Darby Allin from the back of a SUV.
No, they were definitely not doing that in Texas.
We've gotten better each Black History Month that AEW has been in circulation. We're getting better and better.
And here we are with Keith Lee. But speaking of Texas, we have a Texas death match to close the show out. And oh my damn, Hangman Page versus pencil pusher extraordinaire Lance Archer, the Murder Hawk Monster.
Gang.
Dog. Archer is crazy in the ring,
and he's been eating spoonfuls of peanut butter daily, like around the clock. Protein overload.
Listen, if Page doesn't have the wherewithal to turn himself around in the fucking air, that spot on the damn stairs could have gone way different.
I'm saying,
and Archer threw caution to the wind, like fuck this guy.
All I'm saying is protect your neck. We ain't doing no more moonsaults for a while.
I'm so sick of Dan Lambert. He actually helped tell the better story in this match by taking off the top rope, but I could have done without seeing him. Jake the Snake Roberts pulled one of your favorite moves out, the short arm clothesline, and then tried to parlay into a DDT on the concrete, which we all know
you can't DDT a man on concrete.
Why, Suave?
You'll kill him.
And I believe that's probably what Lance Archer told Jake Roberts.
All I'm saying is you can't DDT a man on concrete because you'll kill him.
And so it didn't happen, but it happened to Jake from courtesy of Adam Page.
I have mixed feelings about this. I didn't mind the match, because I grew up watching ECW. I'm cool with death matches and the whole shit that goes with it. Part of me comes from the understanding. I went back and watched the Great White Hype, which we had discussed, and Fred the Sultan. One of his main rules is don't give away what we can sell.
This entire show is a pay-per-view. No bullshit.
All right, if you had gotten that same match at Revolution, you would have been happy spending your $50.
You got MJF barking at Punk for stipulations. You got with the craziest intro we've seen in a long time. You had the debut of Jay White, the debut of Keith Lee, a mystery partner for CM Punk being Jon Moxley, and then also a Texas death match. You also had a TBS championship match with Jay Cargill and ROW graduate AQA. And then we also had Serena Deeb with a 5-minute rookie challenge. Like, this entire show is a pay-per-view. The entire show is a fucking pay-per-view. And you gave it away because of the Olympics, because the Super Bowl is this weekend, because Raw had the worst ratings they've had in over a decade. And it's all been built around this Forbidden Door. Wink, wink.
I mean, very, very similar to WCW. See, WCW was a wrestling company owned by a television company. AEW is a wrestling company in a partnership with a television company that is owned by a madman.
A madman with some cash.
You feel me? A madman with some crazy money and a fucking vendetta.
I've told people this too. They want to talk about how they think AEW's a flash in the pan, and I'm like, you can't compare the two. AEW in its third year has a market cap of $340 million. WWE is a company that at the top of its product portfolio has sports entertainment, aka professional wrestling, and that company is worth $1 billion. So you have a company that's worth $1 billion that wrestling is the forefront of that company, which has a bunch of other companies within it.
The worldwide leader.
Whereas AEW is only doing wrestling at $340 million. You're in their third year and you're worth a third of your closest competitor. I'm sorry, go ahead.
I was saying it's getting really difficult to tell Kanos he's not doing it right.
Yeah, and
it's the same shit as going on in Stanford. As long as you're getting checks that come in that look like the ones they're getting, it's hard to tell those people that it's not working because the money says it is.
I'll do you one better. Neither one of them can say that there's competition, but be damn who you say that to.
And we told you to stay out of the comment section arguing with idiots. That's what you have to do. I promise, I swear to God, what you have to do in 2022 is stay out of the comment section arguing with people.
There's your jewel. Oh man, yo, it's Black History Month. We've been giving Black History facts. You hit me with something before we started recording. We got to bring it home with this one. We got to.
I'm with it. So what I did is I suggested that we have this is bigger than a mixtape. And you hear people all the time, they put together their Mount Rushmores of wrestling.
This shit
right?
might start a fight.
It might not. Now, my original plan was to do how we do our mixtapes, where you can't repeat the same entry. I'm still leaning towards that.
Nah. I mean, because it's possible to do it that way, but there's a couple that are undeniable.
It's a better social media post if we make a consensus. So that's a peek behind the curtain of how shit works. The consensus is better if we come to a consensus of this Mount Rushmore versus have two different versions.
The argument looks better for the Pencil Pusher Massive when we come to a consensus as opposed to us having our own individual Mount Rushmores, simply because now you're having to either choose sides to figure out which one is better while you make your own. Nah. We'll come up with one together, and then y'all can fight with your mamas about it.
So Black History Month is the birth and the first that we're aware of Black Wrestling Mount Rushmore.
We are outside.
Affectionately known as Mount Blackmore.
All right. So, we got to have a founding father.
You want to have a coin flip, see who picks first? Or who's got the first argument?
Nah.
Okay.
Cause we can go, naturally the number is 4 and we have to throw in a 5th because they made room for a 5th.
Yeah. So, 4 and an alternate. Or 4 and a write-in vote.
Write-in vote. Yeah, that's the right. We'll go not an alternate, write-in vote. So, go ahead and pick one.
Ron Simmons.
You know what's funny? That's actually going to be my first pick.
First black recognized world heavyweight champion.
And you can stop right there.
You feel me? Like, you could. That's it. Be done. And then, if you wanted to put some more sauce on it, one half of the first black world tag team champions. And hurry up, start carving his face out. Damn.
And you can even put him on with the nose jersey as he's raising up the WCW World Heavyweight Championship.
That's more than a face though, fam. You can put the nasal strip on him and the eye black underneath if you want to go that far.
Man, you know, I hate to pander. I hate to pander, but it's so deserved.
Okay.
It's so deserved. You cannot say black manager. You cannot say manager of champions without this man's name popping up. And there are no other names that's going to pop up if you don't mention his name. Theodore R. Long, Teddy Long.
Okay. Interesting pick, because in my mind I did not have a manager being selected, so that's very interesting. We got to answer this question once and for all. Now, we amongst ourselves have answered this question. We may have even answered it on the show. But because we are in the month of blackness, we need to answer this question once and for all.
Yes. The answer is yes. Okay.
The Rock.
Yes.
Thank you. We're not even going to make this stretch out. Everybody know what we're talking about. Is you is or is you ain't. The answer is yes. Rock goes on Mount Blackmore.
Now, Rocky Johnson was born in Canada. However, Dwayne Johnson was born in America. Rocky Johnson is black. So is Dwayne Johnson on that side. And, yeah.
He may be the most international piece of talent in history.
Owned and claimed by more territory.
Gangland.
All right, so we've got Ron Simmons. We've got Teddy Long. We've got Dwayne Johnson.
We do. Now it gets real. You gotta be careful with these choices. It gets real.
I got Booker T.
I knew you were going Booker T. I knew you were. And it's hard to argue. It's the most decorated champion in all of...
10-time World Tag Team Champion, 5-time WCW Heavyweight Champion, 1-time WWE World Champion, Impact Legends Champion. The list goes on. King of the Ring.
King of the Ring. I was gonna say, don't sell him shout.
So now the write-in vote. This is going a lot smoother than I anticipated it going.
We know what we know. I'm willing to look at it as if we're gonna have 4 wrestlers and 1 manager, the manager should count as the write-in vote, but that's completely different.
That's fine.
I'm going to go in a direction that people probably would not have guessed from me.
I know where you're going. Hold on. Before you say it, I want to type something to you, and I want you to tell me if this is correct.
Are you texting this or what?
Yeah, I just sent it.
No.
Okay, good. All right.
I'm not doing that.
All right.
But yeah, that'd have been a good write-in, but I ain't doing that.
All right.
JYD, the Junkyard Dog.
Ooh.
Because when it comes to crossover superstar, this man made a whole bunch of money for Bill Watts and his no good motherfucking ass, and then continued to be a star in Stamford and became a cartoon. He was so much of a star.
The only black star during the rock and wrestling era. And was so profound in his stardom and his fan favoritism that they made him animated on Saturday mornings where everybody saw him. Even if you didn't watch wrestling, you watched Hulk Hogan's Rock and Wrestling.
JYD packing out the Superdome. He all in the know ya. JYD ran roughshod through Louisiana.
Man, and there's no argument. There's no argument there at all.
And he trained Red Dog.
That's Unc. You know what I'm saying? That's Uncle.
You know what I'm saying? You feel me? Got down at WrestleMania 3.
Oh man.
That's an iconic dude. You got some honorable mentions? I feel like Ernie Ladd could have made this list.
Ernie Ladd could have made a list simply off the fact that he was the first person to not just transition from pro football to pro wrestling, but also to play pro football while also pro wrestling.
OG of the two-sport athletes.
That is impossible to do this in this day and age, and I'm interested to see some TV on how he did it back then. But he was also booking for Mid-South while this was going on. So Big Cat Ernie Ladd, definitely honorable mention. And honestly, I'll go a step further. If this Mount Rushmore were being made in, say, like the end of the 80s, then we'll say by the end of the 90s. By the end of the 90s, Dwayne Johnson doesn't make it. Teddy Long still might be on there, but if Dwayne Johnson's not on there, I would probably venture to say he's being replaced by Ernie Ladd. So yeah, that's a hell of a choice there.
Good write-in candidate, Ron the Truth Killings.
First and only recognized NWA World Heavyweight Champion of color. Mm-hmm. The 10 pounds of gold that Harley Race, Terry Dory Funk, Rick Flair, Kerry Von Erich, David Von Erich, the same belt that they made famous, he carried. Adam Pearce carried this belt.
Scrap iron.
And he's the only black man to carry that belt. And he did so in TNA and did it, I believe, 3 times.
Shout out to Bobo Brazil.
The actual first black world heavyweight champion for the National Wrestling Alliance, which he was not recognized as such.
Perfect reason to make Mount Blackmore.
Your recognition. Roman Reigns. Is it too soon? It could be, but he's doing the best work of his career, and this is what solidified him as a Hall of Famer, not his work with the Shield.
Whoa. What you doing? Wait, what? You got some splaining? Lucy, you got some splaining, Todo.
The work that he's doing right now as your head of the table and your tribal chief is single-handedly usurping everything he did prior to that. And he did it himself by saying to Seth Rollins, quote, "That's beneath me now."
I'm talking about his Ancestry.com.
Oh, I'm sorry. You can put the whole family on that bitch.
I mean, the whole family is gang, but like, come on, bro. You need at least one parent.
Alpha, Sika, the High Chief.
They are all gang. I do recognize that.
You can put the High Chief up there simply off of the fact of his DNA.
Big Keish is my OG. I do understand everything that you're saying right now.
Yoko, I mean...
Loco Yoko, Booyah Tribe. all I'm saying is I think we need a direct path to his ancestry to get him on Mount Blackmore.
He said
we need to speak with the tribal chief in private council, and we'll talk to the wise man, and the wise man can connect the dots for us.
The wise man is running the kits, and he's charging us for the kits. So I mean,
he's got the swabs. That's a damn shame.
Who else we got? Let's do 2 more.
Miss Jacqueline.
Man, first black woman to hold the WWF women's world heavyweight women's title, because they didn't have the world title. They just had a women's championship.
Is she the only black woman in the WWE Hall of Fame?
I believe so. I believe she is.
That's another one. Like,
oof.
That's a flex.
Do better, Stanford.
I mean,
damn.
While I agree, like, where else were you gonna get one?
Jazz.
This is. Hurry up,
man. That's all I'm saying. Like,
I threw your grapefruit there on purpose. Hurry up, get Jazz in the Hall of Fame.
I mean, now if you really want to go, like, into the WWE wheelhouse, this is not a shot at Charles Wright. If the Godfather can go in, so can Alicia Fox.
At some point, not no time soon.
Hey, all I'm saying is we need more than one in right now. So yeah, hurry up.
I get it, but we ain't got to. I won't say shoehorn because that's disrespectful.
Yes,
but forcing it just for the sake of saying you have one, I'm not with that. Don't force it for me.
Who else? Who else would you do that? I'm trying to think.
Who else to put on Mount Blackmore?
No, as far as the women.
It's rough because you ain't really had a lot of that representation. Everybody else that has a legit chance to go in is active.
They're active right now. Yep.
like Sasha has the resume to go in.
Naomi's probably the senior of them all right now. That's the crazy part.
Like Naomi has turned enough chicken shit into chicken salad that she should get in, and she's a former women's champion.
Sonya Deville owes her a month's worth of pay out of her own damn pocket. Funky.
I mean,
I almost said something. Almost said something.
It's still real to me, damn it. Of course, Bianca and Sasha. Well, Sasha's off top. I think Bianca will get there. Anybody else? I don't think they were really ever in a position to make it happen. Like the Funkadactyls are not going in.
Nah, Cameron's definitely not. Like the fact that she actually made it to the Royal Rumble wasn't more of a surprise than it was a shock.
or as my wife refers to them, the pterodactyls.
She's not wrong.
So I mean, yeah, that's an underserved, underutilized portion of the audience. African American women are underserved as far as the WWE product.
And let's see here. Who else can we go to?
On Mount Blackmore.
Mr. T? First celebrity? WrestleMania 1?
He's waiting in line behind everybody else we already named.
Definitely. I mean, we're just talking about write-ins, but yeah, he's definitely. Oh, so
Lawrence Taylor would be in line before Mr. T.
Oof, man.
And they have similar resumes. They're both WrestleMania main eventers. They both won the first match. Oh no! Actually, Mr. T main evented the first two WrestleManias.
In the first one, didn't that end in a double disqualification?
Some shit. It wasn't good. Whatever it was, like it wasn't good. They tried to box and it didn't work.
Here's one. And this is going to be this is a crate dig here for you. Muhammad Ali. Muhammad Ali was a referee the main event of WrestleMania 1, but he also was tapped to do a super show.
Boxer versus wrestler.
Oh well, versus Antonio Inoki in Japan back in the 70s. You're absolutely right. But he also was tapped to be a referee after he retired from boxing for a Superdome event for Bill Watts. And what's his name? Jim Ross was the one that was responsible for getting him down there.
And he also went over to the Collision in Korea, and he was marked safe coming and going.
Oh man,
Muhammad Ali is always a good honorable mention, no matter what the list is for.
I'm one of the few people that can say I met that man. I'm proud to say that too. That's a flex.
I may never say this to you again. I am jealous.
Yes, sir. You should be. You should be, sir. And as I disinfect the air that you breathe. Shouts out Jimmy Garvin and Precious.
Jerk.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I think that's it.
That's it. I'm with it. Good job. I'm here for it.
Yeah. So, ladies and gentlemen of Pencil Pusher Nation, it's official. You can take it from us. Professional Wrestling's Mount Blackmore. Ron Simmons. The Rock. Booker T. Junkyard Dog. And the write-in, Theodore R. Long.
Man, hearing that from you almost brought a tear to my eye.
I mean, we out here doing the Lord's work, so now ain't nobody got to argue about it no more.
The challenge is, can you come up with the graphics for that?
Shit. Why are you making my life so difficult?
Shit.
We'll see what I can cook up, but damn it, boy.
Bring on your argument. Show at brokenpencilbc.com, brokenpencilbc@gmail.com. at Broken Pencil BC on all things social. That's at Broken Pencil BC on what?
Everything.
We got Dontae Smiley coming up, but before we bring him on, hold on. Do we want to tell them who we got next week?
They got to tune in for that.
See y'all next week.
Yeah. Straight to the point. They said we would be back. They said we would be back. Around in that circle. We back. Guess who back though? Life it'll spin and spin. PsychoDrama, then them chatting, just drugging the motherfucker. This time bringing nigga, it's so serious. You don't know shit about my pen, shit about my friends. Shit from deep down within the moon. Start with the hormones that bother me the most. Deep down inside is a lot of them, ghosts and goblins, ghouls and demons and hobbits and shit walking around in my noggin. That's my first problem. I got a lot of shit to try to solve, but I can't cause I'm starving. Mind on overload, no control over nothing no more. Look at my photo close. You'll see the eyes of the man who dies and tries. Time and time again, but I rise like Miss Angelou with my pride, and I try to get right back at it automatically. In it again, ain't no static that'll keep me from rapping. That's what I was born to do. Warning you niggas that death will become of you. Some of you do understands that my hand will be playing that bullshit, pushing and killing, man. My adrenaline pumping, we slumping and dumping fucking bodies. Ain't that just egging it from deep down within the moon. Start with the hormones that bother me the most. Deep down inside is a lot of them, ghosts and goblins, ghouls and demons and hobbits and shit walking around in my noggin. That's my first problem. I got a lot of shit to try to solve, but I can't cause I'm starving. Mind on overload, no control over nothing no more. Look at my photo close. You'll see the eyes of the man who dies and tries. Time and time again, but I rise like Miss Angelou with my pride, and I try to get right back at it automatically. In it again, ain't no static that'll keep me from rapping. That's what I was born to do. Warning you niggas that death will become of you. Some of you do understands that my hand will be playing that bullshit, pushing and killing, man. My adrenaline pumping, we slumping and dumping fucking bodies. Ain't that just egging it? So around and around, I sound profound, shit world renowned. And now we gon' show you the flows that blow you out the water. Divine order, shit was throw down. Homie, my town and trial and tribulated, where they took all the steps. It's just a circle that turns around on itself. Trials and tribulations, nuisance bucket side, up and down, parallel to the heavens.
It's a circle that turns round upon itself.
I got lost reading meters over here, Swab. Man.
Focus, you're on janky promoter time.
Don't do that.
I'm just saying, you know.
I've yet to receive my hot dog and or handshake for this episode, sir.
You see, hot dog and a handshake. Look, if you're doing too much.
Tony, before I tell the people who you are, let them know what the cost for this is.
Yesterday's price is not today's price.
One more time.
I said yesterday's price is not today's price. Can I get an amen?
Amen.
Price just went up.
Yes, sir.
We'll have an A and B selection as the ushers are in circulation with the collection plate.
My man Tony Snow is with us once again.
You can't ban the snowman.
It's favorite DJ. What's good, everybody?
It's only right that we incorporate some color into the blackest thing you ever heard in your life. We got a whole month of blackness for you.
Off the top rope, directly into your chest cavity, with all of the pressure necessary to get a 3 count.
Unprotected.
Chest cavity. We getting like that specific with it.
Yeah, you got to go directly into the chest cavity. You got to get Gordon Soley with it. You know, side suplex. Yeah, we only doing suplex and saltos.
And savate kicks.
And we're only punching into the abdomen.
Also, joining us today,
into the solar plexus.
The bread basket. The bread basket.
There you go.
The solar plexus.
Yes, the solar plexus is where all the trouble happens.
Joining us today, we have current Soar Wrestling Heavyweight Champion.
Champ.
Prime time.
Actually, sorry. I don't mean to correct you. He's the OIWA World Champ.
So
champ. Not the Soar World Champ. He's the OIWA
World Champion
of multiple independents.
That's what
he's the king of the indies right now.
Prime time, Dontae Smiley, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes, sir. Hey, that yesterday's price is not today's price is arguably one of my favorite clips, if not the greatest clip ever.
well, it could be argued that started from one Ron Murray Jr., courtesy of K104 here in Dallas, pencil pusher, and he's actually the fourth man. He's the unofficial manager of the Broken Pencil Booking Company Pro Wrestling Podcast and radio show infused with hip hop, where he coined the phrase,
Price just went up. Price just went up.
Yeah,
at all times. He's like the MVP of our hurt business.
well played, sir. Dontae, what the business, man?
Oh man, just get ready to head to Arkansas this coming up weekend. Got a match out there defending my OIWA International Heavyweight title per usual. Just getting it in, man. Making these strides, fighting whoever I can fight, whoever wants to fight, because I want to stay fighting the best of the best, and that's what I've been doing, especially over the last 2 years, man.
It's funny. It's funny. I was introduced to you via another pencil pusher extraordinaire, Swang Ricky Blaine up in this thing. You know what I'm saying?
My man Ricky Blaine,
Broken Pencil Gang. Yeah, indeed.
You actually have one of his. He's actually your artist for your theme music that you walk to the ring with.
Oh yeah, no, like Rick and I have known each other for about 12, 13 years now. Like we were in the same music group back in the day when I was super heavy into the music scene back in 09 to 2014. We had a little group that we ran with. I mean, we've done a lot together. He's been my ace since day one, so to speak. So it was only right that when it was time for me to have some actual original interest music as I do now, which yes, he did do, that he was the one to do it. There's no, either he's going to do it or I'm going to do it. But it was not going to leave out of us two. Either I was going to do my own interest music, or I was going to have him. And I knew it was one of his dreams to have a interest music for professional wrestling. And so it was only fitting that I'll be the one to make sure he got his first one in.
Yeah, what's up. You got to keep the casino open and keep all the money in-house. That's the rule.
Right. Always.
It's crazy because, before I even met you in the pro wrestling realm, I lived out in Denton, Texas for about 4 years. And I got in the hip-hop scene out there. I know DJ Spinmo really well, and he kind of got me in out there. And I'll tell you what, man, between DJ Spinmo, Mill the Mayor, Buck Baby, just a ton of people that I got to know and respect out there, they all knew and respected you. So, like the first show that we ever worked together, that EWA show a few years ago, I was a fan of you on the hip hop scene, and I'd never even seen you wrestle yet. So it was cool to hang out with you there. And then when you and Ty won the titles that night against Larger Than Life, that was an awesome match. But I want to, every podcast interview, people ask a pro wrestler how they got started. I want to jump these guys to that question, and I want to twist it a little bit. How did you transition from hip hop to pro wrestling? Was it an easy transition? Was it different than you thought it would be?
No, it was a relatively easy transition, because like you say, I was deep in the hip hop game. Denton is 100% where I really started kind of getting my due diligence, so to speak, within the music business before. I was doing openings for everybody with Score More shows back when they would come to Dallas at Trees, from Travis Scott to Casey Veggies. We did shit with Waka Flocka, threw shows out at Haley's and Andy's. Yeah, threw shows out in Denton at Haley's and Andy's. Like, I know all them guys from Denton that you mentioned, along with, Rekka Mike was out there as well.
Shouts out to Rekka Mike.
Indeed. And I've known Rek for a long time, like everybody, man. So
he was one of the first artists I met before I got to Texas that I got affiliated with after moving here that I wasn't already tied into back in 2008. And I met him through, shouts out to Do It All from Lowe's Underground. That's how he and I got connected, was through Do It All.
Yeah. Rek is a hella genuine dude, man. Like, I mean, everybody out there is, bro. Everybody just loved making music. There were no egos really in that. There was initially when I first got out there. There's a lot of separation in the different style of rapping that, Denton brought, because there's a group out there called Fab Deuce, which is, they're relatively like a white rap group, but Fab Deuce is legit, you know what I mean? And so there's Fab Deuce. Then you had people over on the other side where Mama Trey making the beats again, where Trey the producer was out there along with Miller the Mayor, along with Woe, along with Bug Baby and Rek and all of them from that side.
What's shouts out to my guy Juicy the Emissary as well.
Yeah, Juice, yeah. And they were never doing shows together, like the one group on one side and then those kind of on the other side weren't doing a lot of shows together. And when I came in, kind of, you know, what they considered, I guess at that time, the backpack rappers, so to speak, you know, being in college at UNT, and I came in and started throwing shows at those big venues out there. I wanted to bridge the gap because I like the dudes like Fab Deuce. I like the dudes like Bug Baby and all them from out there, because that's where I used to record, was actually at Trey's house is where I used to record when I was down in Denver. And so I was able to put everybody on a whole bunch of shows, different shows, and kept the mix going. So I got real deep into that. But anyway, fast forward to now, you know, 2014, when I started wrestling, I was getting ready to go out to South by Southwest. And myself and my former tag team partner, Ty Wilson, and I had a wrestling podcast that we used to do that was on Deep Ellum on Air. It was a video podcast. We rented the studio to be able to run it every Sunday. And there was one episode that we had where we were talking about the independent wrestling scene and kind of asked each other on air, because we had never really talked about it. Like, have you ever tried to figure out how to like get into it? Because we're huge fans, both athletically built already. I had just started getting back in the gym at that time, early 2014. But, you know, neither one of us had really like looked it up. So we did, and we found MPX actually. And I hit MPX up, and Kirby was the one that answered my email. We went out there and did photography and videography for MPX. And when we were out that night, we went to drink with him and stuff afterwards and had good times. And we met, you know, a lot of the other wrestlers that were wrestling for him back then. Jerome was there at that time, Jerome Daniels. There's a girl named Ruthless Lala that was there, Mace Malone, and just a whole bunch of just OG people that are actually still around, doing some of their stuff to this day. But, you know, everybody was kind of talking to us, and, you know, some people were getting good vibes from, some people we weren't getting good vibes from. And the entertainment business is the entertainment business. There is no, you know, so meaning that what people deal with in wrestling, people deal with in the rap game, people deal with in the rock game, people deal with it in the acting business, is all the fucking same shit at the end of the day. And so, you know, people are spinning game trying to sell us on why we should go to this school, why we should go to that school. But it wasn't until Ruthless Lala sat down, so shout out to her. She sat down and she was like, all right, she was like, I don't give a fuck what anybody was saying to y'all. She was like, y'all want to make sure y'all get trained the right way. And she was like, I have nothing to get out of this situation because I don't work for neither one of these schools or anything like that. But there's this guy named Anthony Black that's out in Fort Worth. He runs a company called Big Texas Wrestling, and he has a school. He'll treat you right. He won't try to take your money just for no reason or run you into the ground. And he'll make sure you get out of this business what you want to get out of it. And she wrote his name down, wrote his number down, and gave it to us. And that night I got on Facebook and added him and sent him a message, you know, just like, hey, you know, myself and my dude to try to come out and train, see if it's something that we want to do. How much do you cost? You know, yada, yada, yada. And just try to get, you know, the details to everything. And he was like, just come out on Monday, see if you like it, and then we'll go from there. So we drove, you know, an hour, 45 minutes, 2 hours out to the other side of Fort Worth from where we were coming from. Ty was coming from a part of Dallas. I was coming from the Colony, which is where I lived at that time. And it was about an hour, 45 minutes through traffic, 2 hours, depending on how bad traffic was to get there. And we got out there that Monday and just like fell in love with the game. You know, I always grew up wrestling fans, but fell in love with the pain of what you got to go through to work to become, you know, what I have become and where I'm going with stuff in my wrestling career today. And we hit the ground running, man. We were out there Monday, went back Tuesday, went back Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, took Sunday off and rest and repeat. You know, until we, you know, opened up DFW All Pro Wrestling Academy, myself, Ty, Lou Gotti, and Tony all opened up DFW. Yeah, and we all opened up DFW together out in Haltom initially when we kind of partnered up with Junkyard Dog Fight Team out there at that time. We kind of subleased from them. And, you know, now that's become a whole thing where they got their own place. And so it's been a hell of a journey, man. It's just a testament of discipline and consistency and hard work. And also not taking no for an answer and playing my game. You know, I don't do circles. I don't have a lot of just like outside of people at sore or Bumps and Bruises where Bobby Sermo brought me on to be his head coach at Bumps and Bruises Pro Wrestling Academy 2 years ago. Outside of that, I don't have these major circles of people that are signed by these major companies where I can make a call and be like, hey man, you know, can you tell so-and-so to invite me up, or if I come up, do you think I could get on, or anything like that, man. I got to send emails. I got to make phone calls. I got to kind of do the dirty work, you know, along with obviously Bobby sticking his neck out for me at all times, try to get me, you know, to different places. But all of it is a testament of what I put in, man. You know, some people might say not, but going buddy and doing that kind of system might affect people the wrong way. For me, I love where my journey, you know, what has got me through. I love what I've done. I love where I see it going. And so even though I didn't do it, I'm still getting everything out of it that I expected to once I finally hit the ground running and started making a lot of strides in this professional wrestling business, not only as a former tag team specialist, but also now over the last 2.5, 3 years since I've been a singles competitor more than anything, really spreading my wings and showing people, you know, that I'm one of the best in the game because I face the best and beat the best and put on clinics with the best in the game. You know what I'm saying? So the proof is in the pudding with that as far as that goes. And I'm down to test that week in and week out as I do.
It's a testament to your work ethic too, that in such a short amount of time, like you're going up against main event caliber guys, and because the first match I saw you in face to face was against Austin Aries back last year at a Sormania event, and that was crazy within itself, because it wasn't like you know, Austin Aries is going to come down, he's going to give you a show, but you expect a name like that to only give you 10, maybe 15 minutes at the main event of an independent show, and you guys went on for damn near 30 minutes. Of course, it was a championship match, and he bigged you up. You know, he gave you the proper respect at home, which never happens. Talk about that experience a little bit, man.
You know, it was awesome, you know, because especially with somebody like Austin Aries, which everybody at this point, if they are true wrestling fans, you know, saw Austin Aries into Impact, you know what I mean? And, you know, Austin Aries has been called an asshole, you know, somebody that's hard to work with, this and that. And we didn't get none of that, bro. Like, I mean, he came down and he respected me for the position that I was in and what I had done up until that point. And he was like, whatever you need me to do, we'll do. You know what I mean? And that's how he came. That's how he left. So it made it real easy. And then we got out there and just let the magic happen. We weren't planning on going almost 30 minutes, to be 100% honest. But the match got going and we could feel the energy from the crowd. So, you know, we made sure we started adding to within the ring, within the spots that we were in to give the audience that much more, you know what I mean, of who we both are. And then, you know, for him, somebody that, you know, beats people by submission, to me hanging him upside down and making him submit in the elevated cloverleaf in the middle of that ring with 300 plus people around was absolutely awesome. Man, you know what I mean? But like you said, it's a testament to the work I've put in for people of that caliber to come in and be like, what do you need me to do? I've already heard about you. I've seen your look. I've seen you talk. I've seen you wrestle. Let's go out there and show the world that you are who you say you are. And that's what he wanted to make sure that we did, is go out there and show everybody that I am who I said I am, and that I was in that position for a reason, to be facing him, and not only facing him, be somebody that he comes in and puts over because he respects my position.
He didn't hold back either. He pulled no punches. It was as in as it got. But the one thing that I did notice from him was that even while he was in his role, he seemed to be having fun. And if you don't love what you do, then it's going to be dangerous for the other people on the other side of that ring for you, from you. And he took care of you, but at the same time, he made you feel his pain.
Oh yeah, and that's exactly what it is, man. You know, the thing is, to have high quality matches, you need high quality people that are willing to work with each other and trust each other. Ultimately, if people don't trust their opponents, there's no way that it's going to be a high quality match. You know, there's going to be hesitation somewhere, and there was no hesitation anywhere in that match. We fucked each other up during that match, from start to finish. You know what I mean, and gave the crowd everything that they paid to come see.
Yeah, they got their money's worth that night. You also had some success at the end of 2020, and even once in a couple time in 2021 on AEW Dark. Man, you got a chance to go down to Jacksonville and team up with Max Stardom.
Yep.
I saw a match against with you and Max Stardom against the Lucha Bros, and another one against Best Friends.
Best Friends.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, man. How was it like down in Jacksonville?
Awesome. I felt at home, bro. I mean, because the thing that people have to realize, once you get to a certain level in wrestling, the only thing that separates you is opportunity. That's it. It's not a whole lot of skill necessarily. It's just being able to be seen by more people that you can get to talk about you. That way you can get a contract, so to speak. Because there's a lot of great people on the independents that should be signed and deserve to be signed and put the work in and have the skill, the mouthpiece, and the look to be signed. The only thing that separates them from those that aren't signed is literally opportunity, and that is it. And so it was good to finally break that glass ceiling and get a major look from a major company like AEW, you know what I mean? Granted, they were our tag matches that I had, so obviously with being on Dark, the time is limited and what's expected. Everybody knows their roles going out there, but luckily I was with some OGs of the game and some very professional individuals where they wanted to make sure that we got some shit in, you know what I mean? And what didn't just go out there to get ourselves squashed or anything like that, and being there 10 seconds or anything. Every match that I've had out there, I've been able to put in some shit and be able to highlight some stuff when I've been in the ring. And it's just been a blessing to be in that locker room or any major locker room, you know what I mean? I think all of us are blessed for any individual at the end of the day because you're beating odds. And that's what all this stuff is about. You got to try to beat the odds of what this game tries to play you, because there's a shit ton of wrestlers and there's only so many major spots. You can make a living off of being an independent, but if you're getting signed by Impact or the E or New Japan or AEW or something that you want, spots are a little bit more limited at that level of stuff. You know what I mean?
Right.
And so when you get those opportunities, you have to seize the moment and stay on the better end of that and stay getting invited back or whatever else, depending on what you want out of your journey. Some people don't want to be signed by the major because they like control of their stuff and they ain't got to sell their gimmick to nobody or whatever else it may be, which is cool. But if somebody is wanting that big fat contract and to have that national exposure, that worldly exposure, then they got to stay beating the odds to be able to get there and do everything they can to do so, and just keep showing up and showing out every single opportunity that they get in the independents while they're still wrestling, or when they get opportunities like on the Dark or on the Elevation, or if like the E brings somebody in for, a 205 Live or an Impact taping or something like that. And then across the board for any opportunities people may get at those other big companies. They gotta take it and run with it and get everything out of it that they can with the time that they have, and just be grateful for the opportunity, because there's a lot of people that are out there that wish they could step in the rings that some of us have been blessed to be able to step into.
Yeah, no doubt.
That's what's up. Now, obviously, we looking at it like you're not very far off from being able to tell people yesterday's price is not today's price, and that price just went up. So we pretty much know that. And I got to take it back to the very beginning of the interview where you so casually said, you about to go defend one of your many championships. So my question is, how much are you spending on luggage for all these various championship belts that you have to carry around?
So funny thing, Christmas of what we just got out of 2021. So Christmas of 2020, I got some whole new actual set of luggage, like a set of luggage for Christmas from my in-laws because of that. Because I travel so much, I needed these different bags to carry different stuff. You know what I mean? So I got some new luggage that year of 2020's Christmas for my wrestling travels, because it does take a couple bags to take everything that I got to take and other gimmicks and belts if they want me to, depending on which one or how many they want me to come out with and whatnot. Because at one point in time, there's been 2 different times that I've held like 4 or 5 championships at once, 2 separate times. Like had them all at one point in time, lost them, and then won a different set of 4 or 5 belts that had them all at once. So I've been blessed with a lot of opportunity. I've probably held about 13 or 14 titles, different titles overall, some of them multiple times, which aren't included in that number. But, I've definitely had a blessed of a career very fast within the 7.5, 8 years, and I don't plan on a damn thing changing as I go on. Right now I'm the OIWA International Heavyweight Champion, and that's my focus, because I do have to travel a lot monthly for that. But now we're, one thing before Bobby had, before Sir Mo had gotten sick recently, one of the big things that he wanted was for us to bring other people's champions in, either to face me or face somebody else to be able to highlight their stuff, and us outsource matches and title matches to other companies. So that's a lot of stuff that we're doing. So you'll see the OIWA champion and championship pop up at different promotions that you didn't expect that aren't even under the OIWA umbrella.
Wow.
I could get to it in a major way. A air bending, belt collecting superstar of individuals here on the Broken Pencil.
Dude, and guys, not just that, man. He's a motivational speaker and he's a published author now. Tell us about your book, champ.
Yeah. So this year, published my first book. It's called Becoming Unfuckwittable is the name of it. Becoming Unfuckwittable. Yeah.
I'm already a fan of it.
That's the title of it. It's on Amazon and stuff. I actually have some copies that I can send you guys. So if y'all just DM me y'all's addresses and stuff, I actually have copies on hand that I can send y'all and stuff. I just appreciate y'all giving me a platform to come talk about what I love to do and helping expose me and stuff like that and within the business and to y'all.
Shit, that goes both ways, man.
Y'all's audience, you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
So there's no problem for me to do that. But so Becoming Unfuckwittable is my first published book. Won't be my last. I'm already working on a second book right now. But it's just this first one's like people getting to know me because with how much I've done, especially Tony, as you know, with my history in the music business and stuff like that, a lot of people will meet me, and I still do music and stuff like that. I've dropped albums still over the last few years. I'm just not doing those big shows as much because I got wrestling, and wrestling takes up a lot of time. But it tells people about my life story, what I went through, childhood, separated family, household, kind of that underground story that a lot of us have went through. But a lot of people stay in certain sectors their whole life of some of those troubled situations throughout going into their adolescent life to their young adult life to their adult life that they keep around. And I was one that was very adamant on breaking generational curses and changing my family's legacy to make that Smiley name genuinely mean something different from what it's ever meant before.
And not Norman Smiley for those who not in the know.
No relation at all. Not Ricky Smiley either, because I know he'd be out here in Dallas all the time too. So not him either. But making that Smiley name genuinely means something for my family's sake. Which is awesome. I was the first one to be on national TV. I was on the Dude Perfect show before. Then obviously with the AEW stuff. Then, I'm the first published author in my family. I'm the second entrepreneur, like full on entrepreneur, because I have my own fitness training business, Primetime Fitness. And I'm the second entrepreneur and business owner in my family. My grandmother was the first one. She owned a daycare. And I'm the second one, but the first for the Smileys as far as that goes, because my grandma on my mom's side was the one that owned the daycare. And so it's that kind of stuff that's important that the book talks about, just how to overcome certain stuff, how to get over a victim mindset, how to live a different life than what this world tells you you're supposed to live with, going to college and working a 9-to-5 job and this and that. And that's the only way that, the world should be. And that's not it. You know what I mean? There's multiple ways to skin this cat. And I firmly believe that people should try to live through their passions. I get obviously having a 9-to-5 because shit's got to be paid, but I think at the end of the day, when people have a true passion for stuff, they need to figure out how to try to work it to monetize it. You know what I mean? Because that's how they're going to ultimately get all that happiness they want. And for me, that's doing a multitude of things, for fitness, from wrestling to music and all that kind of stuff that, makes up who Dontae Smiley is. They're all different coats that I wear at the end of the day. You know what I mean? So one coat come off, I put another coat on. That coat cut off, I put another one on. I get home, my father and husband coat is on, and so on and so forth. So that's everything the book talks about, man, and just opens people up to my journey and what I've been through and some life lessons that I've learned along the way that they could possibly learn from. And, it did great. It was an Amazon bestseller. It was #1 on the new releases list at one point in time.
Shit.
It was the number 2 book in the professional wrestling category of books behind Moxley's, because we released relatively on the same day. And
talk your shit, Dontae.
It did very well. It was #1 for like the Southern region artists, for like Southern authors and stuff like that. Then, I was on in one category that was like African American celebrities. It was on the top shit for that at one point in time through, that first week of release. So it did really well, man. And, I'm very grateful for everybody that took the time out, not only to buy it, but to read it. and whatnot, and those that are steadily going to, because there's people that are obviously still picking it up, still going to be reading it here soon. So it's just a blessing to be able to do something like that and solidify my legacy in a thing like becoming a published author that only 1% of the world ever has the opportunity to be able to do. Not necessarily do, but choose to do, because everybody can do it technically. But only 1% of the world ever becomes a published author. And I'm in that 1%, and that's a dope ass thing to be able to be part of.
Man, that's dope.
major.
That's dope shit.
I love how the world sees wrestlers as like muscle-bound, steroid-ridden dummies. And then you meet someone like this who's a motivational speaker, an entrepreneur, a world champion, and an author. I love it, man.
I thought I was bullshitting with the airbender. Like, nah, for real. In real life.
Dontae, you talking about wearing a lot of different hats, doing a lot of different things, and you talk a lot about your guy Bobby. Bobby is more known to the common folk as Sir Mo of Men on a Mission. Talk about you guys. Talk about you guys' relationship.
Oh yeah, man. Bobby. So I've worked for Bobby and his company, Sword Championship Wrestling, and now what he's grown into the OIWA. Not Sword hasn't grown into the OIWA. He's just branched and created the OIWA that has multiple promotions up under it. But I've been working for Bobby for about 6 years overall. I'm a 2-time Sword Tag Team Champion with Ty Wilson. We've had those titles 2 different occasions. And then after the second time that we had him is relatively close when Ty and I decided that we wanted to kind of start going singles and stuff like that. Because we've been tagging for so long. It was just kind of time to spread our wings and do our own thing and make a way in a different way for ourselves, because stuff was just getting a little stagnant. Because we had faced everybody that was anybody in the tag divisions across the United States and here, you know what I mean? And so it was time for something new, and Bobby saw that. And everybody stayed working for him. We had a group called Dot Mob at one point in time that ran rampant throughout Sword Championship Wrestling, that had me, Jerome Daniels, Kenny Steele, and then Ty Wilson.
I'm a huge Dot Mob fanboy. Sorry, guys. I just got to throw that in there. Dot Mob was my shit, man. Oh, my God.
Yeah. No, we did a lot, man. And we got a lot of flack for creating Dot Mob initially. I don't know if it was because we were a group of 4 black individuals that decided to form a group out here like we did or what. But a lot of people didn't like the fact that we formed Dot Mob. One promoter, and I'll get back on track. But one promoter told us, he was like, now you're good. One promoter literally told us that he was like, now I can't have y'all face each other, when like he was never planning on us facing each other anyway. But that's the bullshit that motherfuckers would like give us during that time. When we did that, they're like, oh, well, now I can't have Jerome versus Dontae or Kenny versus Dontae or Jerome versus Ty because y'all are together. Well, it was too late. I was like, but we were cool with still doing it. That's the thing. We challenged them to still do it because we're in our group thing. We were like, we're for the best to do this shit right now. And if we got to face each other, why wouldn't we want to face each other if we're saying we're all the best, group or not? You know what I mean? We'll just have a brotherly challenge type shit in the match or whatever. And they didn't jump on it, man. So we got to where we got to, and we did what we did with Dot Mob. And, it just fizzled out for us. A lot of stuff just kind of started changing. People had different motivations. People's work ethic was differently, which is all cool. You know what I mean? Everybody, at the end of the day, wrestling, even in a group, is still an individualized sport. You know what I'm saying? So we had to let people do what they wanted to do. Ty and I wanted to take a step back from it. So we did, and kind of went our own separate ways. And with that, Bobby knew that I wanted to be a singles wrestler. And so he started booking me in a lot more singles. I was already getting booked singles other places as well. But Bobby Sir Mo was one of the first ones to really put me out in the forefront. And he was like, dude, I believe in you. He was like, I've never seen anybody that could talk like you, that could walk like you, and then go out in the ring and back it up. Very unnervous, like, you know what I mean? A lot of people talk, but they really don't walk, or a lot of people will walk, but don't got to talk. He was like, you got the triple thread in there. You got the look with how you're built and your physique. He was like, you on the microphone and dropping promos is one of the best I've heard. So you got that there. And he was like, your skill on the ring. And he was like, I believed in you from the day one. And he was like, but you got it so much better over so-and-so time. And he was like, people need to see this shit. And so it was like 2 years ago where he started really investing in me, in my opponents and my journey. And, you know, he does most of my booking now, even for with other companies that I go work for. Like, they got to go through him to be able to book me. Like, I very rarely do any of my own booking anymore. So it's kind of cool to have somebody like Sir Mo that people got to go through to do your booking. Because once again, just like the Austin Aries thing, something as minor as that to some people's eyes is a very, very major in the grand scheme of things with how this professional wrestling business works. When somebody is well respected as Bobby, sticking his neck out and being the go-to contact for you with a lot of stuff. And so it's been awesome working for him. You know what I mean? We got a lot of talent through our lot of talent through our training school, Bumps and Bruises Pro Wrestling Academy, where Bobby brought me on 2 years ago as the head coach of the training school as well, when he needed to kind of take a step back from being in the ring as much as he was due to certain health reasons. And he brought me on because he loved my vision and my outlook on professional wrestling. And he heard things of me talking to people in the locker room, you know, after matches or before shows, and he just trusted it. And not only that, you know, me being a fitness trainer as well, he knew I was already a coach. And so it just transitioned into teaching people how to wrestle in that instant. So, you know, and that's how I try to give back to the situation myself. So we have a great working relationship. The OIWA is completely thriving right now. SOAR is under the OIWA brand. The OIWA has a promotion in Arkansas that's ran by a guy named Jason Maldonado in Sherwood/North Little Rock called Chaotic Kingdom Wrestling, which is where I'm wrestling this weekend. We have a company that's ran by a lady named Cece that does shows in Memphis and also does some shows in Forest City, Arkansas. That's called Southern Extreme Wrestling. But Bobby has promotions in Canada, has a promotion in Canada that he works with. He has a company in Japan that he works with because him and a guy named Sonny Ono, who's a historical manager in the professional wrestling business.
Invader of the selfie.
Right, yeah, exactly. and so Sir Mo and Sonny have a great relationship, and we're trying to do some stuff with them. And a lot of shit is going, you know, a lot of shit is about to pop, you know what I mean, as far as the OIWA goes, in my journey within it. And I'm very, very invested in the OIWA and growing it just as much as, you know, Bobby and the OIWA are investing in me in my journey, not only within the organization of the OIWA, but also getting out and going and whooping people's ass at other promotions as well.
Man,
now I want to ask you, champ. You know, as an entertainer as well, like I still get nervous before every show. You know, there's something, you know, I let myself get in my own head, and there's something about, you know, I'll get there early, whether I'm DJing somewhere or just anything, and I'm like, look at all these people here. And at some point in the night, even if it's just for a second, they're all going to be looking at me. You know, like
right.
it freaks me out. Like, and you've done big shows in hip hop when you worked with Waka Flocka and some other big name acts, and you've also done some huge shows in pro wrestling, whether it's AEW or Sorcade. Like, do you still get butterflies before shows? And if you do, which one's more intense to you, getting ready for a hip hop show or getting ready for a big time wrestling show?
I wouldn't say one is necessarily bigger than the other. It's just that I'll get butterflies before going out just because I'm a perfectionist and I want to make sure the people get the show that I know and am going to give them, and making sure my integrity stays in hold throughout however long I'm in the ring or on the stage to give that to those people that pay tickets to come see me one way or another. But the moment I go through the curtain or the moment I come step out on the stage, they're gone. I feel at home. I feel at peace because I firmly believe it's exactly what I'm supposed to be doing and where I'm supposed to be at in that moment in time. So I feel real comfortable the moment I go through that curtain. But before, you know, you'll see me kind of on my knees. I'll throw a prayer out always before I hit the stage or hit the ring. You know, then I'm pacing in the back behind the curtain, be it the hip hop curtain or the rest of the curtain. I'm pacing. And then the moment my music hits and that are the people here, and you know what I mean? And my wife is on my intro of that song. You know, she's the one that's talking back to me in there. And she's like, of course they are. I'm like, good. They got the cameras out of the way. She's like, of course they do. The moment that hits, everything goes away. Or the moment the DJ calls me out onto the stage, everything goes away because the cheers start or the boos start or whatever it may be on the wrestling side. And the hip hop side, you know, I'll come out, especially if it's a show here at Dallas, and you come out and say, "What's up, Dallas? What the fuck's up, Dallas, Texas?" And everybody fucking goes ape shit, and you're like, "Yeah, I grew up over there for 635 in Webb Chapel, over by the C-store, and yada yada." You know, and people can relate to you real quick. You just got to know how to have that presence when you're in front of people.
Building rapport is everything.
Where like, you know, people aren't required to give you their attention. You have to demand their attention by what the fuck you do or who you have become, to where right when your music hits, they start going ape shit. Or if they don't know you and you're somewhere for the first time and you come out and it ain't dead silent, but by the end, they either need to be cheering you or booing you because you had to, you know, eat out the palm of your hand one way or another. That's how you know when you got it, man. And so I feel a sigh of relief. The moment my music hits or the moment I hit a stage or whatever it may be, everything goes away because I firmly believe it's exactly what I'm supposed to be doing, right where I'm supposed to be at. And it's like, okay, let's go give them exactly what you said you were going to give them, which is a fucking show, which is the best performance of the night, be it performance on the stage or performance in the ring.
True indeed, man. Truer words couldn't be spoken. I can't speak for Swab, but I know whether I'm DJing, if it's a house party or if it's a venue, even if I'm just backing him up, you know, as being his soundtrack, until that first beat hits, it's butterflies. But once that first beat drops, it's a wrap. It's on and popping.
Right.
I got you from that moment on.
It's the exact same. It's butterflies right before, and then as soon as those first couple of bars roll off and you don't either fall off stage, drop the microphone, or
right.
Just so long as nothing fucks up in the first 30 to 60 seconds, then everything is just smooth sailing.
Good, yeah.
Dude, I'm telling you, man, once I hit Pony and the bras start flying on stage, I'm good, dude.
Yeah.
you hit the Steve Smith, start singing Genuine songs and shit.
That's what he's talking about.
Yeah.
What else do you think hit the pony means, Rob? What the fuck?
I mean, hey, look, everybody has different definitions for different things. People out here experimenting, doing all kind of shit. What I've learned is that it's 2022 and you assume nothing.
You go to Detroit, hit the pony means something completely different.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yo, Dontae. So
who knows what it means in Puerto Rico?
Or Tijuana.
You see what I'm saying?
Yo, Dontae, what are you listening to these days, man? Everybody has their different tastes and shit. And you're more along our in our demographic generally. What are you fucking with musically right now?
Well, like honestly, a lot of my playlist is made up of older shit for the most part. But I listen to some new. I listen to any major artist, bro. Like I'm not very picky with my hip hop necessarily. Where I'm like, oh, I like this person because of this. And I'll take everybody relatively with a grain of salt and for what it is. You know what I'm saying? So like I've always been. What's up?
We were talking to Rodney Mack earlier, and he pulled up Ghetto Boys and Scarface. Is that like your lane?
Yeah, I listened to Scarface the other day. I don't listen to him like on the regular, but I also had him playing in the gym the other day because I had Smile playing with him and Tupac, and then I let the playlist roll after that. So I listen to that generation of stuff. That 90s hip hop, early 2000s. So I listened to a lot of early Kanye, especially from Graduation, Late Registration, and all those early albums. Granted, I listen to all of his stuff. I listen to a lot of Jay-Z. I'm big into East Coast rap. Very big into East Coast rap, but I'll still, especially in the car, would throw on some DSRs, some color changing clip, and all that kind of stuff. Because I keep it with Dallas and Houston, especially. Because that's where I first started freestyling on with my cousin when we were, 10, 11, 12 and shit.
If you're an East Coast rapper, champ, please help me settle this dispute once and for all. Uh-oh. Jay-Z would totally dust Lil Wayne in a versus. Tell these guys that.
In a versus?
Yes, in a versus battle, Jay-Z would dust Lil Wayne.
It's not a question.
Well, of course. Well, so here's my thing, because I actually had no. Let me say this. So, because I actually talked about this when it was first going around, and Jay-Z said that nobody could stick with him in a versus. If it's a lyrical crowd, I would say that. But if it's a crowd that wants nothing but radio hits, I'm pretty sure Lil Wayne has had more radio club type hits than Jay-Z has. So if it's based off of that, then by default, Lil Wayne might get him. But if it's a crowd that genuinely knows hip hop and is really about that shit, you know, then 100% Jay-Z should wax his ass. You know what I mean? I would definitely say that. But I think it would be dependent upon the crowd that was in the audience at the end of the day. So me personally, I say yes, Jay-Z should wax Lil Wayne 100% because Lil Wayne, he made every hit for the radio. Jay-Z didn't always make just every hit for radio. He would have a couple off of each album here and there, you know what I mean? But not many. And it's on, a 25 track album type shit. And so that's a lot of music still that wouldn't get that mainstream play. Whereas Lil Wayne, most of his shit is going to end up making it to the radios or do videos for or something like that.
I mean, hell,
so I think
Jay-Z allegedly retired with a whole album that was not intended to hit radio. The Black Album.
Yep.
So I mean, there's that right there, and that album was chock full of singles. Even though Threats wasn't the single, that shit could have been, even with the shit talking.
Right, and then that's exactly what I'm saying. He definitely has stuff where we would look at it and be like, fuck yeah, he would wax him. You know what I mean? But then there's that younger generation that only went to the clubs and shit like that wants some shit like Lollipop, Got Money, or all this, them type tracks. The Firemans and shit that could be played in clubs and shit like that. That would say otherwise, and I know it because I got into argument with them that was saying otherwise. When I was just like, y'all just don't know. Maybe you're just too young.
Maybe it's a different time. And then
maybe you're just too young and just don't know enough about Jay-Z.
I hear a lot of people bring up like, well, what if mixtape Wayne shows up? Like mixtape Jay-Z don't exist.
Right. Right.
And then the other thing is like alluding to what you were saying too about the crowd. We know Jay-Z is a chess player, so this ain't happening nowhere but in New York, and knowing him, it'll be in Madison Square fucking Garden.
Right.
So by the time the Versus is over, it's going to be a Jay-Z anthology appreciation concert.
Right.
So whoever's on the other side of the stage is getting washed. It has nothing to do with... Yeah.
There's no argument that Jay-Z's not the greatest, or at least, one of the greatest to ever do that shit, dude. The dude's never missed. Even on his later albums, something like the Magna Carta, Holy Grail, when he dropped that, and a lot of people were like, it's okay. That album was still hot with nothing but bars on it. You know what I mean?
444 was incredible.
The problem is people have a hard time evolving as their artists evolve sometimes. Jay-Z's not a street no more. You know what I mean? He's not. He's a businessman. And so on that album, he was falsing about adult business stuff. So it's different than something like his past albums, like A Reasonable Doubt and shit like that. There's never going to be another first album for anybody. You know what I mean? You can look at all your favorite artists almost across the board, and most of their first album was to be argued that is their best album. You know what I mean? And stuff like that. But there's a lot of stuff that comes with that afterwards. And so, but Jay-Z has never missed on a project.
Dude,
never.
Jay-Z was able to get Too Short on a song and not have him say anything about bitches, and it still be a hit.
That part.
But he said hoes.
But he didn't say bitches, though. There's a difference.
Shit. Oh man, we can talk all day about this shit, Dontae, man. But you're welcome back on here anytime you want to come back on here, man. Anytime you got anything to plug, anytime you got a show coming up, if you just want to come back, shoot the shit and join us for some round the industry wrestling talk, man, we got you, bro. Go ahead and plug your shit, man. Get everything in there, man. Let us know where we can find you.
Yeah, most definitely. So first and foremost, the name Dontae Smiley. That's Dontae Smiley. You can find me on all the social medias at Primetime Living. PrimeTimeLiving. Also, you can find all my stuff on my website, from wrestling to music, to hire me to speak at your event, to purchasing my book, to signing up to get on one of my fitness programs at www.connectwithdontae.com. Again, that's www.connectwithdontae.com. That's the one-stop shop where you can find everything you need to get in contact with me, or be a part of and support anything that I'm doing. And so that's that, man. I appreciate y'all so much for having me on and giving me this platform today on this afternoon.
Man, we appreciate you too, man. It's like I said, this is for Black History Month. We're gonna have interviews all month long, giving people their roses while we still can give it to them, man. And that's just it's some of the blackest shit you ever hear in your life, and even with a sprinkle of snow because it's wintertime.
Right.
Because P. Diddy. Then we got LL Cool J.
Right.
This fucking guy. Yo, serious question, Dontae. We were talking about the travel situation and your luggage and shit. And you say at one point you had sometimes 4 or 5 belts at once.
Yeah.
How much shit did you get from TSA?
Not much, man. They were just always interested in the shit.
Oh, okay.
You know, and it's funny because you know, it's, especially with like airline industries, they're like, all right, you know, you get your one carry-on and your one personal and stuff. If you can't fit under the seat, you can't carry it. I've never had a problem carrying 2 things. Even my entrance coats that I've worn over the last few years, be it the long fur coat that I used to wear or my leather jacket now, and my belt that I take everywhere with me. My belt, I hold my belt, hold my personal bag separately, and they don't say shit about it, and it's a beautiful thing.
That's right.
They're like, yeah, we'll let that go.
Represent your shit. Suave, do me a favor, man.
Yeah.
Take us to the house.
Pencil pushers. Heads up. Pencils down.
Dude, my birthday's next week, y'all. You got to come party with me, man.
Yeah, Tony.
What you got going?
I'm doing a show up here. Well, I live in Durant now in Oklahoma.
Okay.
It's like an hour and change from DFW. But I got Lardy B's coming to headline.
Oh yeah, and, I fuck with Never Satisfied.
Yeah, Lardy B's coming to headline.
Me and Blake are real close.
Yeah, that's those are my people. And me and Lardy have the same chiropractor, so she's headlining, and her big ass is opening for her.
Who's opening?
Her big ass. And
okay.
Dog. First of all, I didn't know until recently that Tony was actually a fucking comedian. I just thought he was just naturally funny, but I mean, it kind of goes hand in hand. But dog, Tony would fuck around and go into a stand-up routine without even knowing it. And
yeah, I know.
And what's crazy is everything he said is 100% true.
Yeah,
right. Like we laughing, and he like, what are y'all laughing about? That's the name. Like,
and freaking who was I talking to? Ratchet ass Wuda wants to come and bring left cheek and right cheek with him. So
yeah.
That'll get crazy if they show up. But yeah, no, it's gonna be dope, man.